Hi, good morning, one and all. Last class we can discuss about how urine formation is takes place. Now we can discuss about osmoregulation. See what is meant by osmoregulation means how the water, how the solutes, that is the electrolytes, can be maintained in our body constantly. That is called as a osmoregulation. That's why osmoregulation means the process of maintaining the quality and also quantity of water and dissolved salts. When you have to maintain, how you have to maintain, this is maintained by excretion through organs. Suppose when excess of water is present in the body, maybe it leads to edema. That's why you have to remove the excess of water, or if water will be less, at the time that water is not able to eliminated from the body, you have to control, you have to maintaining the homeostasis means you have to maintaining a constant balance. That constant balance is achieved by excretion through organs. Basically our excretory organ is what? Kidney. Not only kidney, some of the excretory products is also eliminated from the liver and also eliminated from the skin and also eliminated from the lungs. Based upon you have to maintain our body constantly, that is called as a osmoregulation. Not only organs, and also it is regulated by the presence of hormones. Where the hormones is releases, it is releases from the hypothalamus. It is present in the brain. In brain it is present in the forebrain. What are the hormones? ADH, anti-diuretic hormone, aldosterone and angiotensin 2. These are the main hormones you have to regulate the osmoregulation. Now see, from renal artery, this is afferent arteriole divided into tuft of blood capillaries. I already said this is the glomerulus, and it can leaves the blood capillary, it means Bowman's capsule. This is the afferent arteriole. Afferent arteriole having a larger diameter, efferent arteriole having a smaller diameter. I already said here how much amount of net filtration pressure we have to maintain. 10 mm Hg pressure you have to maintain. Okay, suppose that much of pressure is not able to maintain here. That much pressure is not able to maintain here means here the blood is filtrated perfectly? No. When the blood is not filtrated perfectly, can I say the blood toxicity level is increases? It means more waste material present in the blood. When more waste material present in the blood, it leads to toxicity or not? Compulsory, it leads to toxicity. At the time, we need an alternate system is there. What is that alternate system? How that blood is purified? That's why I wrote here, when glomerular filtration rate is low, it means if they not able to filter, the filtrate rate is what? Low only, no? That's why when glomerular filtration rate is low due to the improper kidney function, it means either a kidney is damaged or it is infected, the nephron is infected due to some another activities. When the glomerular filtration rate is low, at that time we having a alternate system, that is the juxtaglomerular apparatus. What is juxtaglomerular apparatus? Juxtaglomerular apparatus consists of macula densa plus juxtaglomerular cells. What is macula densa? I already said when it is efferent arteriole can leaves the Bowman's capsule. At that time this is called as a peritubular capillaries. When this peritubular capillaries densely packed around the DCT, this is the DCT region, PCT, loop of Henle, DCT, densely packed around the DCT region, that is called as a macula densa, or in our book afferent arteriole densely wrapped around the DCT, it is called as a macula densa. I already said this is came from the efferent arteriole, this is came from the glomerulus is also came from the afferent arteriole. That's why this everything is came from what? Afferent arteriole only. That's why afferent arteriole wrap around the DCT, that is called as a macula densa. In this they having a specialized yellow pigmented cells is present. This cells is called as a juxtaglomerular cells. Juxtaglomerular cells is the modified smooth muscles. It is commonly called as a juxtaglomerular apparatus. Okay. Now, what is the function of this juxtaglomerular apparatus? See, this macula densa is the chemosensitive area. Chemosensitive area means, I already said, glomerular filtration rate is low means compulsory the toxicity is increase in the blood. Toxicity increase in the blood means compulsory pH is changes. When pH is changes, at the time fastly the cells is activated. How this activated? Now see, when glomerular filtration rate is low, at that time juxtaglomerular cells is activated and it is released an enzyme. That enzyme is called as a renin present in the blood. See here RENIN. RENNIN means milk protein. This one is the for excretion. Keep in mind. Okay. Just why this juxtaglomerular cells they can release an enzyme that is called as a renin present in the blood. What is the use of renin? This renin enter into the blood circulation. In blood circulation, it is enter into the liver. In liver, they having enzyme angiotensinogen. This angiotensinogen, by the presence of renin, it is converted to angiotensin 1. Okay. Now, this angiotensin 1 is converted to angiotensin 2 by the presence of angiotensin converting enzyme. Now, this angiotensin 2 through blood circulation, it can stimulate the adrenal cortex. What is adrenal cortex? Now this one is the kidney. Above the kidney they having a adrenal gland. This is an adrenal gland. In this adrenal gland, outer part is called adrenal cortex, inner part is called as a adrenal medulla. That's why this angiotensin 2 through blood circulation can stimulate the adrenal cortex. From adrenal cortex it can release a hormone. That hormone is called as a aldosterone. This it means adrenal cortex having a 3 zones. In that one zone is called as a zona glomerulosa. From the zona glomerulosa of adrenal cortex, they can release a hormone that is called as a aldosterone. What is the use of the aldosterone? You already remember in the DCT region. It is useful for the causes of reabsorption of sodium and also water from the distal convoluted tubule and collecting that. When you have to reabsorb the sodium and water in the body from DCT and CD, the solutes level is increases. Suppose when solutes means, can I say, weight is increase. When weight is increase, automatically blood pressure is also increases. When blood pressure is increase, see, when blood pressure is increase, here blood pressure is increase, can I say Before that, glomerular filtration rate is low means compulsory net filtration pressure is low. Now solutes is increase, here the blood pressure is increase. When here the blood pressure is increase, automatically glomerular filtration rate also increases. Okay, based upon thus you have to overcome the glomerular filtration rate, and this mechanism called as a RAS pathway. RAS pathway indicates renin angiotensin aldosterone system. That's why renin angiotensin aldosterone system. Based upon this system, you have to overcome the glomerular filtration rate. Suppose when this pathway also not working properly, at that time only kidney damage is takes place. Before that there is no kidney damage. Okay, next another topic, very important one, that is called as a micturition. What is micturition? Micturition means the process of releasing of urine from urethra is called as a micturition. See, keep in mind, this is cortex, this totally, this one is called as a pyramid. See, you can keep like this. See here, you have to think this one is the glomerulus, Bowman's capsule, PCT, loop of Henle, DCT, initial collecting duct, large collecting duct. See, from large collecting duct, what type of urine is there? Concentrated urine. Now see pathway. Now this concentrated urine enter into the calyces. Calyces is two types. One is the minor calyces, another one is the major calyces. Small one is called as a minor calyces, large one is called as a major calyces. The papillae first touches the minor calyces to major calyces. This funnel shaped is called as a renal pelvis. That's why now the concentration urine is enter into the calyces to the renal pelvis to a long muscular tube-like structure that is called as a ureter. This ureter is lined by which type of epithelial cells? Transitional epithelial cells. Now this ureter is open into the urinary bladder. The temporary storage of urine takes place in the urinary bladder. This urinary bladder is continued with a urethra. In males that will be called as a penis. In females that is called as a vagina. The urine comes outside. Okay. Now this urinary bladder, it is in a thick muscular distensible sac-like structure, and it is also lined by transitional epithelial cells. They having a walls that is called as sphincters. In the urinary bladder, they having a internal urethral sphincters, that is having a what type of muscles? Smooth muscles. Smooth muscles means compulsory, it is involuntary nature, it means not under our control. And base of the urethra, that is the base of the penis region, they having a external urethral sphincters. They having a striped ones. Striped one means this one is the muscles. They having a bands, dark bands, light bands, dark bands, light bands. That is called as a striped muscles. Striped muscles is voluntary muscles, it is under our control. Suppose when the urine is enter into the ureter to the urinary bladder, when the in urinary bladder, when 600 to 800 ml of urine is filled, it can starts to urge. Starts to urge means starts a pressure. When it starts a pressure in urinary bladder, they having a stretch receptors is there. When the stretch receptors is there, the stretch receptors is stimulated and send the message to the central nervous system through sensory nerves. From the central nervous system through motor nerves send the signals to the smooth muscles, that is the internal urethral sphincters. When this internal urethral sphincters here the contraction is takes place, now with certain pressure the urine is comes to the external urethral sphincters. This external urethral sphincters is open and the urine is comes outside. Now the process of releasing of this urine is called as a micturition.